it's a different world. It's almost like a different planet existed. Every finger you poke into the subject of dinosaurs is just ripe with discoveries. If you were on Earth in the early, say the first half of the Triassic period, you would have seen a lot of different types of animals, all big teeth and vicious and mean, competing with each other. And if you were a betting person, you might not have bet that dinosaurs would be even successful. The Triassic period began and ended in fire. The Earth saw its greatest extinction of all time. It was called the Great Dying, the Permian extinction. And on land, something over 90% of the species that existed at the time were wiped out, which meant that in the early Triassic, all those niches were open. So whatever they wanted to eat, as long as there were plants around, or if they're carnivorous, whatever creatures were around, they would have capitalized on it. And I don't think anybody really knows any answers about the very first dinosaurs. So dinosaurs and archosaurs and lots of other kinds of creatures evolved because there was nobody to kill and eat them, and they were all sort of fighting it out. In the Triassic, you had the ancestors to all the groups that came after. And the early dinosaurs had the characteristic dinosaur features. Oh, and here is a Triassic dinosaur. I just happen to have this one in my pocket. This is what a dinosaur ancestor might have looked like. Skinny, fast. Some of the competitors were crocodile and alligator ancestors. So if you can imagine with two strong back legs, a fast-running alligator, if that doesn't scare the pants off you, then nothing will. And then something happened in the middle of the Triassic. This was called the Carnian pluvial. All of the continents were mushed together in Pangaea, and it was just beginning to break up. A zone called Wrangellia opened up, and once again you had these flood basalts. And here we go again. Except this time what seemed to happen is that the water cycle was speeded up. It rained everywhere, floods. So all over the Earth, it looks like the Carnian pluvial threw water everywhere. And so the environment changed, and now all these creatures that were struggling with each other began to change the dynamics. What we know about dinosaurs suggests that one of the characteristics that may have helped them become so dominant was their respiratory system. Well, for theropods and sauropods, their bodies, and birds today, birds breathe this way, their bodies are packed with air sacs. It's a very complicated system, but the advantages of it are profound. It's a constant flow of fresh air, and that means you get more oxygen, you can build more dynamic and energetic bodies. So imagine now some of those scary Jurassic Park creatures with the same breathing ability getting more energy out of the same air that you and I are breathing, so they could run you down, bite your leg off, and it's like not a biggie. By the time the Triassic period ended, dinosaurs became not only dominant, but all the major groups that we're familiar with. There were examples of them, and they dominated all the niches that they were in. The end of the Triassic was yet another of the 5 great extinctions that the Earth had seen, and many of the competitors for dinosaurs were wiped out. But the dinosaurs came through this stronger than ever. There were still remnants of those other groups, and there still are, but dinosaurs pretty much took over. The rest of the Mesozoic, so we're talking about 200 million years ago, the dinosaurs ran the show. As we're talking about hundreds of millions of years, and you know, our lifetimes give us no reference for how that might work. And what we've learned in the last 30 years, since 1996, when a fossil was dug up in China, is that birds are dinosaurs. So 66 million years ago, the famous dinosaurs died off, the birds survived, and even now, you could say in some ways, dinosaurs still dominate the Earth.